What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Wager Alarm live stream. I'm your host, Howard Bender. With me, of course, Craig Mish. Craig, how you doing, man? We went 2-3 in the Super Contest this weekend. Not great, a couple of last minute things that happened didn't bounce our way. We move on from that, but how was your weekend otherwise?
The weekend otherwise was good, and it was the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur, so
Good yontif to you, sir.
thank you. On Sunday I was watching the games, then took the day off Monday, and that Monday night game was certainly interesting too. It was really never close. One of the few games in the NFL that was not close was Monday night, but I think our reads were good, our leans were good. We leaned on Green Bay, and that was a winner. Dallas was disappointing. Dallas, I thought, at the very least, was going to cover that game, and they were driving. And at the end of the game, again, you're getting 5 points. You feel comfortable in that spot to have that, so I don't feel terrible about them. Houston had a 14-3 lead. And
Where'd that go?
I mean, that was some very putrid play in the set, but putrid play calling, too, in the second half. I was really disappointed there. That guy just runs on first down every time. There's no creativity. So that was a disappointing one. You'll have to remind me on the other ones here.
Oh, the Giants game we were never in on.
Giants we were never in. That was a bad call.
Never. That was that was a mess.
Yeah.
Patriots, that one was never in doubt. That was a solid one.
Patriots and Packers was good. Cowboys could have went either way. Giants we had no shot, and then the fifth one
was Houston.
I feel bad about Houston, but not terrible. If you took Houston in that game, you feel like you had a chance. It's all you could really ask for. So really one bad call, maybe 1.5 with Houston. But my concern for Houston is more of just they have nothing except Watson. I mean, really, on offense. Their defense is okay. I mean, they stopped Pittsburgh a few times, but their run defense is not good. And on top of it, every first down they run the ball, Howard. I don't get it. They run the ball every first down. There's no creativity whatsoever. And I said it last year. I'll say it again this year. And I understand that from 3 yards out, he can score. I think David Johnson's finished. I think Gurley is close to finished. I think David Johnson is finished. I don't think he can play anymore.
I can't. You know what? I can't go with that. I mean, just for the sole fact, you know what? If he doesn't produce over the next 3 weeks, where there are. I mean, it's a much softer schedule. You're talking about Jacksonville, you're talking about Minnesota, and you're talking about Tennessee, I think, are the next 3 games for Houston. I'm going to wait and see what happens there, because you can't tell me that going up against Kansas City, who takes the ground game off the script immediately, and then the Ravens with their run defense, and Pittsburgh, who's got the top run defense
look, that's
in the
a fair
NFL.
comment. It's a fair comment. I don't see a burst there. I would be shocked if this guy had a 20-yard run all season long. I feel the same way about Gurley, although Gurley had a 15-yard run actually in the last game. But it to me, it's just more sad than anything else. I mean, those 3 years ago were 2 guys that you would take 1 and 2 in a fantasy draft. It's like 3 years ago, man. That's not that long. And the wear and tear on these running backs, you understand now why running backs don't get drafted high. You don't spend a lot of time in the league, and those guys were phenomenal backs. I thought David Johnson was going to be a Hall of Famer after watching him his first 2 years, and then that disappeared pretty quickly. So again, that's just my feeling on it. Mm-hmm. And if the Texans are just going to run the ball every time on first down, they are not going to win a lot of games, and that's the way that I saw it in that one. So no creativity at all.
You need to lose the predictability of your offense, and that's definitely been a huge problem for Bill O'Brien. And we'll see what happens. Maybe the guy relinquishes play calling someday. Who knows? I mean, he brought in an offensive coordinator this year. He's just not letting him really run the show. So I think that's a huge problem.
I'm not totally sour on Houston. 3 tough games to start at the beginning, and again, they did have a lead. You never know what can happen at the end of a game. They could come back, cover a spread, tie it. So of all the ones that we had, the Giants was the most disappointing, because we talked about, hey, look, as long as Daniel Jones doesn't fumble, and what does he do? He fumbles like almost immediately. So I have my concerns with him moving forward. It's just not a good quarterback to back at this point. And for them to lose to San Francisco, who were basically dominated them and fielded nothing on that field, I would be very worried about the Giants moving forward. So we can end with that, and then I guess we can start with Thursday night. And the line has moved significantly since they announced earlier today that Brett Rippon is going to be starting for Denver. Now, we've done a lot of college talk here, and the last couple of years under Rippon, his numbers are okay, but Boise State was really not that great with him. So I don't think that this is. I personally, I know Driscoll was horrible last game, but I don't think that Rippon is better than Driscoll. I just don't. And if there was ever a time to back the Jets, this would be the one time that I would do it. You were getting 3 points a couple days ago, and it's amazing they make that quarterback switch, Howard. The line is now like pick 'em, and I think that that's probably accurate. I think the Jets are going to be favored on Thursday.
I'd be surprised if the Jets were even favored on Thursday, just given how bad they've been, how bad they've looked, how bad the coaching is, the injuries to all their wide receiving core. I'm also kind of curious. Yeah, you bring in Ripien, but does that really do the Broncos go for that, like, mid first half switch to Blake Bortles even? Like,
Oh my gosh.
I think Bortles gives Denver a better shot than Ripien does.
I think this is like Vic Fangio's dream to hand the ball off 40 times in a game. Really.
It might be. It definitely might be.
I look, and again, I hate to call for people's jobs, and you know that we do that a lot in the NFL, but to me, that's the one guy that it didn't make sense when they hired him, and I don't think he's making it into next year. I don't think he would have with Drew Lock. It's not a progressive coach, man. Like, I have all these new weapons on offense, and it's still this boring style type, and it's crazy that John Elway is the president of that team, and that's the offense that they have, and they're 0-3. One of the best I've ever seen play. So
disappointing to say the least, no doubt.
You want to look at some other ones?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's look at some other things, because we've got some interesting stuff. We've got 5 games that have more than a touchdown or or more spread. 2 of those 5 games are double digits at 13 right now. I'm looking at what is it? The Washington football team's getting 13 against the Ravens. Giants are getting 13 against the Rams. Chiefs are giving 7 to the Patriots. Eagles are getting 7 from the. How about this? How bad are the Eagles that they're getting 7 points to, like you said, and I agreed with you, completely. And I even talked about it this afternoon on Sirius XM. Is there really a difference between Nick Mullins and Jimmy Garoppolo?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, you can make that quarterback switch whether it happens or not, but the Niners giving 7 there, and then the Monday night game, Packers are laying 7.5. And we have 7 games also with an over-under of 50 or more.
Yeah, that's the big number, is that the total, every game has been going over for weeks. And like I said, week 1, Howard, who's the good defense? And I think that that's playing itself out a little bit here. So, I think that you're right on that. But yeah, let's circle back here a little bit. We'll start with the earlies and then go to the lates, and I'll tell you just some of the trends that I've seen in the early part of the week. It's still early though with that. The Bears opened up as a favorite or even, but the Colts are now favored on the road at Chicago. I guess some people feel like the Colts are now starting to get it straight. I think in terms of defense, the Colts may have the best defense in the AFC or the NFL. I can see that. They and again, it was the Jets, and I get it, but their defense is really good. But look, Nick Foles, wherever he goes, for the most part, I know Jacksonville didn't work out, but it seems like he gives a team a boost, and it's usually like a temporary type boost. I don't know how long this can last, but they are 3-0, and they're getting points at home. So naturally, at some point, this line is going to get too high, and people are going to start backing Chicago. But right now, the Colts are -2.5, and the total is 45. Detroit, after a surprise win last week, holding on to hope. I'm holding on to hope that Detroit can somehow get to 8 wins. The Saints are only -4 at Detroit, which sort of tells you what they think about the Saints at this point. In a normal year, in a normal situation, by the way, with a total of 54, the Saints can only be 4-point favorites there, controlled environment. But Howard, the Saints offense just doesn't look right. I don't know if it's Thomas or maybe this is it for Breeze. I don't know, but they don't instill a lot of confidence in me right now.
They're not instilling a lot of confidence in a lot of people. I do think Breeze is lost without Michael Thomas. I do think that we are seeing a little bit of a pullback. I mean, listen, you can dump off passes to Alvin Kamara all day long. It's just not going to move the offense. I'm I'm so sick and tired of Sean Payton going to Taysom Hill, who he went to him again and he fumbled. Right? I mean, it was
I
just
know. You may
what
as well
a
just make him the starter, you
what
know?
a
Like,
drive
I think he's
killer
probably
that
going to end up
is.
being starter next year. I mean, it seems like that's the direction they're
Why
heading.
you know what? I'd rather see Jameis Winston under center than Taysom Hill. I'll
I
take
know, I
I'll take
understand.
three
I just,
interceptions a game from Jameis Winston, knowing that at least we're going to see 50 pass attempts a game.
yeah, and look, it could happen next year. I don't know, but a few weeks ago we had heard rumbles that Breeze was close to taking that TV job that he passed up this offseason. Maybe he just does it. Maybe this is it. I don't know. He to me is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. And if he is starting to decline, which is certainly possible, I mean, it may be best for him to bow out this year at the end of the year. But I don't know. I can't speak for him or anything. Cardinals
Maybe he'll cite COVID as a reason to just get out of the NFL right now.
opt out. Cardinals, Panthers. Cardinals were opened up at 4. They're down to 3.5 after that disappointing loss to Detroit. That was a pretty disappointing loss for them. But no team is going 15-1 in the NFL unless you're Kansas City. It just doesn't work like that. And the Cardinals were playing way above their heads. Look, the Cardinals could win 9 games. They could win 10. This is not a 13-win team. So at some point they're going to lose, and that's what happened last week. I think they got caught feeling too good about themselves. And the line's 3.5. The total is 52 in that one. We got the Bengals and Jaguars. Yuck. Who wants to see that? Cincinnati is -3. The total is 47.5. Every total's basically gone up more or less this week, and the total went from 44.5 to 47 in that one. Browns and Cowboys. Cowboys are -4.5, down from 5, and the total's 55 in that one, Howard, because Dallas hasn't been able to stop anyone. We know automatically we're not doing anything with that game this week.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? I want Cleveland in the points. Run it down their throats. Listen, I will never pick Dallas again, but I will pick against Dallas.
Okay.
No doubt.
I don't know. I was not impressed with Cleveland last week. Even though they won and we talked about it on the show, was one of my favorites other than the ones that we took. We probably should have taken them. They did not play great against Washington. Washington gave them the cover. They absolutely gave it to them.
Yeah.
I don't know that Mayfield can play. I'm not sure. I know that they can run, but the second this guy has to throw, you feel like there's going to be an interception coming. So, battle of the winless, Vikings and Texans. So I assume the team that loses this is done for sure. Minnesota, the total is 54.5, up from 52. As you can see, all the totals are rising, although the spread is now Houston -3.5. Howard, Minnesota came out looking like they were going to beat Tennessee and then fell apart late in that game.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was an interesting game to sit there and watch. And once Tennessee jumped right back into it, I mean, again, that to me that was just the Minnesota D stats correcting themselves right there mid game in order to give that up. So yeah, I was fine with that one. That didn't surprise me at all.
All right. Seattle looks like a fantastic offensive team. They cannot stop anyone, but they got the best quarterback going right now. Not named Mahomes, I suppose. In Russell Wilson, and the line is 6.5. It was 7. The game's in Miami. The total is 54, down from 55. Tough one to call. Like, I could see this going back and forth. It's like everything is dragging me to Seattle here, Howard, and that makes me feel like it's the wrong side.
Right? Then all of a sudden it's that old Fitz magic again, sneaking in that backdoor cover. I mean, listen, Seattle's secondary is trash, absolute trash. I mean, come on, to turn Cedric Wilson into a 100-yard receiver, and 2 touchdowns there. I mean, 4 wide receiver sets completely got Seattle off their game. I think Fitzpatrick will be able to chuck the ball around on them. So I tell you, man, my early lean is Miami with the points.
Yeah, me too. That'd be my lean as well. I think that may be one we'll go with this week. I love a big dog like that. Seattle coming off a really big win. I like the way you're thinking there. Okay, Tampa Bay against the Chargers. We'll have to wait and see who the quarterback is for the Chargers, but Tampa Bay up from 6 to 7.5, total 45. The line feels about right. Feels about a touchdown game. Steelers, Titans, why would we even mess with this at this point? We're not really sure if what's going to happen, what's going to play. I've been talking to you guys about this on these live streams for a while. So naive to think that nothing was going to happen all season long, and here we are. I know that they are saying that they're going to try to play this game Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I suppose it's possible if there are no other positive tests for the Titans, but just like baseball, tomorrow morning we're going to wake up and we're going to know. Because if the Titans don't have any more positive tests and it was just those three players and those coaches and it was isolated, which I find very far-fetched, but if it was, then absolutely there's a chance they could play Sunday night or Sunday, or they'll have to change the game to late for sure because they'll have to test Saturday for Sunday testing. But they could play Sunday night or Monday for sure. But if they have any positive tests tomorrow, I would think that's it. Like, I mean, and that's usually the way that it went with baseball is that like they got the test and then they went the next day and then all of a sudden there were a lot more, and that's when it changed. And for clarity's sake, I know that there are some people that feel certain different ways about the virus and what it causes or whatever, but the one thing that we know is certain. The reports today said that the tests were positive tests and confirmed positive tests. So it's not like these were false positives. If it was a false positive, then you get that straightened out. We've seen that happen already this year, and you're good. But with the amount of players and staff, basically with me going through this with the Marlins, I can tell you that, again, not knowing is scary. Not knowing that players have it and they're in that locker room is scary. And, of course, that happened on Sunday, and, of course, that happened on Monday. I'm not particularly worried about the Vikings and the refs who they're letting sit out this week. I didn't see that at all in baseball from one team to the other. Okay. And I know that football is more of a contact sport, but I don't have – if you're asking me about concerns for a Vikings pick of some kind this week, right now I'm not concerned. I am concerned that they will play this week, and maybe they will. They have a clean bye week, week 7. I don't know why they just wouldn't just have them take the bye week this week and then play week 7, but save it for Saturday on that one. Okay, Ravens are minus 13.5. There's no total because we're unclear on the quarterback, Howard, for Washington at this point. Rivera has said that it's Haskins, but there is some thought that maybe that could change before the weekend. And wow, Baltimore is 13.5-point favorites on the road against Washington on Sunday.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, especially talking about how bad Lamar Jackson looked in Monday night's game. But I'll tell you what, again, this is a situation where I think you could put up 90% of pretty much any quarterback not named Russell Wilson going up against Patrick Mahomes, and any quarterback looks bad.
I agree. Yeah.
Being on the same field as Patrick Mahomes. So, I think that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be corrected for Lamar Jackson. But when you're looking at this matchup here and you're looking at Washington's defense, there's all the talk about Chase Young and how their run defense is. But I mean, I could legit see the Ravens just turtling and going back to what they know, and that is just having Lamar Jackson run his ass off the entire time.
It could.
Just outrun those edge rushers.
I don't think we've ever laid this many on the road ever in any pick we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to touch it because of the point total. I'd rather take the Rams and lay 13 to the Giants than I really would, just kind of correcting itself here with Baltimore and Washington.
Right, and that's the next game. The Rams were 7-point favorites. This line moved 6 points since the opening line on Sunday. The Giants played so bad, and they're on the road. They're 0-3. They're probably not feeling really good. The total's 47.5. And I don't love the Rams, but you can't really feel good at all about the Giants. Okay, Patriots and Chiefs. This is probably the game of the week or one of the better ones. Patriots line opened up Kansas City minus 6.5, went to 7, a little higher after the Monday night game. Now it's back down where it should be at 6.5. No total yet. On this one, it's going to be in the 50s. We know that. I don't know, Howard. I mean, at some point, it's like, do we just start taking Kansas City? Just putting them in there. And then we know in the next 5 weeks, if we just blindly do it, we're probably going to win 3 times minimum. It's like, it's tempting, Like after what I saw on Monday night, it is tempting to just say, we'll just keep taking them, and we know at the end they're going to have a winning record against the spread. It can't be a losing record. They will not have a losing record against the spread. They did not cover against the Chargers 2 weeks ago, very clearly. And they did on the first week of the season, and the games that they're winning have not been particularly close. So my temptation would be to take Kansas City here. After what
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I was blown away with that. I think New England has played well, but this is a different animal, I think. I'm curious when the line at the Super Contest, maybe if we could get some miracle that's going down to 6, that'd be great. I would really like that. Bills are -3 at the Raiders. Wow. So Bills were really not much of a this is a very interesting line. The Bills, who were Howard, like a point favorite over the Rams, like not getting respect, to now all of a sudden -3 at the Raiders. Wow, that is surprising to me to see that kind of respect. And by the way, I wonder what the line would be if Josh Allen doesn't rally them right at the end of the game. I don't even think the Bills are favored at that point. So,
well, I
says
mean,
a lot.
that was, that was definitely the thing, and I think that was the issue also. I feel like this Bills defense kind of lost its way a little bit. They just gotten back a couple of linebackers on defense, and I still didn't see them playing particularly well. The Rams were really attacking them in the middle of the field with Cooper Kupp in the slot. That does seem to be a weakness for the Buffalo Bills right now. But I mean, when you look at when you look at the Raiders, I mean, it's Darren Waller, it's Josh Jacobs. I think Waller's a little bit more healthy than Josh Jacobs is. But then I mean, if you dare them, if you do the Bill Belichick sort of thing and you focus on the two biggest offensive weapons and you try to take them out, really, what do the Raiders have? You've got Hunter Renfrow out of the slot. That's fine for fantasy purposes, but is that really what you want to rely on if you're going to bet this game? So, I look at this one here. I think the Bills took their foot off the gas in this game against the Rams. And I feel like, I feel like the Bills are able to turn this one around here and cover this spread. My lean would be Buffalo, even though it's on the road.
Okay, and then finally Monday night we got Atlanta and Green Bay. Poor Falcons have just had a rough time, man.
But how is this only a 7.5 point spread? Like, look how good the Packers have looked.
Because they play close in every game. And you know what? They may play close Monday. They'll lose, but they may play close.
Falcons.
Do the Falcons get blown out? No.
No, they don't.
They don't. And so...
Although I'll tell you what, if they do, if Dirk Cutter kind of screws around with the play calling a little bit, I don't want to say he's looking to sabotage Quinn's chances of succeeding as a coach here, but Dan Quinn's on the hot seat unbelievably. And we've seen a subversive Dirk Cutter before, dealing with the play calling. And the next thing you know, Dirk Cutter's the head coach named by his team. So if the Falcons were to get blown out in this one, I think Dan Quinn gets fired. Dirk Cutter comes in as the head coach next week, and then you look to maybe take the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm not sure about coaches getting fired during this whole COVID thing. I don't know. I'm not. Look, after the year, I think anything goes, but I don't think that this is a normal year for this sort of stuff. But you could be right. Clearly, the Falcons got off to this start last year. It was very similar. They didn't make a move, then they rallied, and then they kept him. Look, you can point to coaching here in this spot to lose like they did.
back to back.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks is just ugly. But again, they could play close. They could lose a very close game. They're very good at that. They've mastered that. So that's certainly a possibility as well. And those are the games for this week.
So I expect to see some more line movement. I expect to see these over-unders get a little crazy. I mean, the books have been taking the beatings right now, which is why we're seeing these numbers so high. So that should definitely be interesting to watch. So Craig and I, we're going to monitor all of that as we go through the week. Again, tune in on Friday for at sportsgrid.com. Craig and I are going to be discussing some of the line movement that we're seeing midweek, kind of giving a little bit more of an advanced preview to what we're looking at the Westgate Super Contest. And then, of course, Saturday night right here on the Wager Alarm live stream, we'll make our picks and get ourselves back on the right side of 500. You can back on that.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll be looking at that and looking forward to doing that, of course, on Friday with you on my show. And then Saturday back on the stream, and hopefully next time I see you, Marlins will be getting ready for the next round.
Well, listen to you dropping your sickening Marlins baseball talk. on me like that? Why are you doing that to me, Craig? Why?
Yankees crushing the Indians tonight. See that?
Right? All of a sudden, Shane Bieber looking like Justin Bieber. That's going to do it for us here on the Wager Alarm live stream. Big thanks to John and Pemba for producing the work today. Big thanks to Craig Mish, as always, for putting in the time and the effort. I'm Howard Bender of the Fantasy Alarm and Wager Alarm. We'll catch you next time.